Hello and welcome everyone. This is the something new, something different, something spicy we're gonna try out. I'm a big fan of 40k. I like playing 40k. It's a good game, I think, and we're gonna hop into a little game I had in this old quarantine. It's just 1,000 points, so keeping it small. Here we're taking a look at the one side, the orc side. We got a nice 12-man unit of looters in the truck they'll be riding in right there. A 30-man unit of boys. Nothing crazy. Standard 30-man unit of boys. The big strongest boys right there. You got a 10-man unit of grots, the 2 HQs. This is forming a battalion. You got your 2 HQs, your war boss on warbike, and the warlord, which is going to be the man with the shock attack gun. He's going to have the big killer war boss trait, which means he gets +1 to wound against vehicles and monsters. He's also going to have the souped up shaka, which means this is the specialist attachment Dreadwa from the Vigilis book thing. And there's another group of 30 orc boys, and then 2 def copters just to keep it spicy, you know? One unit of orc boys has shooters, the other orc boy unit has Sliga-Choppa, so nothing crazy there. And they're going to be facing off against the old Emperor's finest boys right here, the Space Marines. This is using a custom chapter rules for the Space Marines where they have Master Artisans and the increased 3-inch range one. They have their suppressors right here, as you can see right there. You got some eliminators, nothing to be messed with there. They can snipe out characters pretty nastily. Got a unit of Reavers, which isn't a common pick among Space Marines. The troop choices are 2 units of Scouts and 1 big unit of Infiltrators, so you can have a nice wide shot of them. The HQs are a Librarian, a Captain, and a Phobos Lieutenant. The Captain has the Chapter Master upgrade for today. We're going to be playing the mission, the Scouring. You can pause it and have a read. It's pretty straightforward. Here in the deployment, you can see what we did. It has 5? 6. One of those. It has an amount of objective markers. It's 6. The blue one is going to represent the major one, and the red one is going to represent the minor one. We rolled randomly for them, and since the orcs had less total units, not models, but total units, the orcs ended up finishing deploying first, so they will get first turn unless the Space Marine player concedes. And you can have a nice little look around the battlefield. A lot of the Space Marines units had the forward deployment style abilities, such as the Eliminators, who picked this nice little hill to pick up in cover. They get a nice +2 to their armor save while they're in cover, so they're going to benefit from that, I imagine. And the Scouts just took a little bit of a forward position right there, maybe just to act as a screen, prevent the Orcs to get into the meaty parts as fast as they possibly could. But we'll see. We got little Dreadnought over there hiding in the corner. He's gonna blast someone with his big twin las cannon is what that Dreadnought has. The Warlord for the Space Marines is the Captain. He has the Imperium's Sword Warlord trait, which means he's really good when he charges. He also has a Flaming Sword as the relic, which is pretty good. This is the Tempting of the Seas, and ooh, off by 1. You hate to see it, but actually I love to see it. So let's go into Orc turn 1 movement. So after the Orcs have moved, here they did some mediocre advances, rolling a 1 and a 2 on the 2 blobs for their advance rolls. They kind of covered the little minor objective over there. They're just moving up little by little. The War Boss has moved up gingerly just up to that cover, so nothing crazy. Now we got the Orc Psychic phase, things like the jump and the big foot of Gork, and you know, all those things could happen there, but they didn't because they didn't bring a weird boy. And now we got Orc Shooting. Now this could be nasty, because the Orcs are a very shooty army. Now here we got the group of Orc boys here, the shooty ones, the ones with the shooters. They advance, so they're hitting on 6s. And for Orcs, 6s explode, which will be remembered probably. We're just going to reroll that dice because land on another dice. Dice that land on other dice get rerolled. So yeah, since they advanced, they're hitting on 6s. Not all of them were in range of the Scouts, but as many as they could will fire upon those Scouts that you can see right there. And we get 1 wound off of them. It's a strength 4 gun against a toughness 4 scout. That's wounding on 4, so we got a 1-4. We're going to roll the save for it right now, and it's a 1. That kills a single scout. Now, if you know anything about Orcs, well, no, it's just, that was half of the shots. Here's the other half. Because, you know, it's hard to roll that many dice with human hands, which I was limited to in this one. I'm just going to reroll that dice that likes to stay on the other dice, and we get a solid 3 hits, and this time we will remember that we're playing Death Skulls, and get a Death Skull reroll, and also remember that 6s explode for Orcs, and get no more hits there. So it was fine, you know. Let's see if we get any more wounds. We get 1 more wound there. Let's see if he can't make his save. Scouts have a 4-up save, which they do make, and he is perfectly fine. So that 42 shots have killed 1 scout. That's some orc shooting for you. Take out a nice scout with a bolt gun there. Nothing too bad for those guys. Now the looters that are sitting nice in the truck right here are going to fire off their guns at the eliminators right here, and they're going to shoot them as hard as they can using the stratagem for 2 command points out of the 5 that the orc started with. To get exploding 5, so now Daka 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 will trigger on 5s. This is number of shots for the unit, which is a D3, so that is 3 shots per model. So that is going to be 36 shots, and we have exactly get all those dice, 36 dice in one go right here, hitting on 5s. Also 5s explode, so we're going to just quickly separate that. A die got stuck in your hand, you know, you hate it when that happens. Hate to see it, it gets stuck in there, then it starts growing. If you forget about it, it becomes like a fungus. You don't want any of that. So we're going to separate all these exploding dice. We get about, I'm going to say 11 hits right there, and by say I mean declare. I'm not taking that 5, but it is keenly pointed out by my opponent as a good sportsman-like behavior right there. And then this is the Death Skull reroll, nothing there. And now all these boys explode. We're just going to count them up and then see how many extra hits we get from these explosions. Statistically, it should be 1/3 of these dice rolled. However, statistics mean nothing in this game, apparently. But no, that's actually pretty statistical, honestly. So let's roll some wounding things. So looters have def guns, which are strength 7 against the toughness 4 of an eliminator, so they're wounding on 3s today. We're going to reroll that with the Death Skull ability, and everything besides 1 wounds. That is disgusting. However, the eliminators have currently a 2-up save, well, a 1-up save with a -1 AP from the def gun, making it a 2-up save. That is going to be 2 failed saves. Pondering whether to use a command point for that, is decided against it. 2 saves with 2 damaged guns would kill 2 eliminators, and that is exactly what is occurring right now. I mean, the command point is being pondered, though. They did get pondered, rather. So yeah, these 2 eliminators do get removed. I'm going to leave the sergeant right there. It's always risky putting big, valuable guys up front to get easier, like better line of sight and stuff like that. But yeah, they just they didn't get it. Now the shock attack gun is going to shoot some suppressors, some fly boys across the map. You can see that easily, being able to see, draw a line there. Shock attack gun has 60-inch range, very easily within range. By easily, I mean just it's within range. He's going to fire. This is the souped up Shaka, the relic, and from the warlord. So we're going to roll for the strength right now. We roll 2d6 for the strength, and that is an 11. You hate to see that happen for the other guy. You feel bad for the other guy when you roll an 11 with a shock attack gun, because what that means is every hit causes D3 mortal wounds. Now we're going to roll number of shots right here. It's going to be 5 shots. That's not that bad. That's not that bad. So there we go. 5 shots. Any hits here will cause D3 mortal wounds before even wounding. So that is going to be with a Death Skull reroll. See if we get another. No, and an exploding 6 right there. See if we get another. There we go. It's 4 hits, so that's going to cause 4d3 mortal wounds immediately before even trying to roll for the wounds that would have wounded on 2s anyway, because strength 11 currently. So we're going to check to see how many mortal wounds are caused. And that is absolutely enough to wipe the unit. The unit only has 6 wounds. That is way more than enough. And that is just going to remove the unit. That is going to score first blood for the orcs right there. The shock attack gun. It is perfectly fine and balanced weapon. It needs no changes in 9th edition, I'm sure. And we didn't record this, but apparently we shot the big shoot at the eliminator as a joke, and it did a wound somehow. Now we're going to go to the orc charge phase. Now the orcs love charging. I'm sure there's going to be a long and fulfilling phase. That's it. And now we're going to go into the orc fight phase. Since nothing charged, nothing's going to fight. Now we're going to go on to the orc morale phase. Or the morale phase on the orcs' turn. Nothing really needs to suffer morale. Nothing can fail. The orcs didn't suffer any casualties. The Space Marines didn't suffer enough casualties to suffer any morale. So yeah, this is just the state of the board on how it is at the end of the orc turn. We're going to move on to the Space Marines movement. So the Space Marines didn't do really that much movement. They kind of stayed put to get their bolter discipline things all up and running. The Reavers did move up to kind of like get hold of that point and hold on to it. But the Reavers are good at melee, so they like doing melee stuff. We're going to go into the Space Marines psychic phase. They do have a Librarian, and they do have some psychic powers. We're going to do a Might of Heroes on the Reaver Sergeant, which increases his strength, attack, and toughness by 1, which is a pain in the ass when trying to wound the unit. Because it makes the one model a different toughness than the rest of the models, which is quite annoying. And then he's going to smite the closest unit, which turned out to be these orc boys. We did a quick measure just to see. So a smite on these orc boys, he needs us to show a 5. Just show a 5 and 2 dice. He doesn't. D3 mortal wounds to that unit of orc boys. Mortal wounds carry over, so it'll just be number of dead boys. D3 a 6. That's 3 dead orc young boys. They are gone and dead. So there we go. They are smitten quite devastatingly. Nice blue lightning right there. Then we go into the Space Marine shooting. Space Marines excel at shooting just like they excel at literally everything else. So let's see some orc scouts shoot orc boys. Now the scouts have several weapons in that unit. These are the bolt guns firing. All of them hit, which is pretty good. Now they're wounding on 4s and only 2 for that time. And yeah, then we're just gonna roll the saves for the orc boys. They have 6-up saves. One makes the save surprisingly and just kills one young orc boy. We're going to move on to the Heavy Bolter, which one of the scouts is carrying. It's going to be hitting on 3s. We're going to get one. We're going to reroll that with the Master Artisan ability. So all of them hit, wounding on 3s, because Strength 5 against the Toughness 4 of the Orcs, and that is going to wound on all of them. We got a 6-up save. It does have -1 AP, however, we're playing Death Skulls, which means all Orcs have a 6-up invuln. And that's going to kill another 3 Orcs. So that's 4 Orcs dead from this round of Scout shooting. And then we got the Scout Sergeant with a Plasma Pistol. He's not going to overcharge it, but he is within 12 inches, so he can fire it. And that is going to be a 2. It's just going to miss. Yeah, so 4 dead boys from that shooting phase right there. Bam, 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 bang. Now, the Reavers are going to shoot some Orc Boys. Surprisingly, this unit of Orc Boys, not the other unit of Orc Boys. So, they have their Assault Carbines, and they are going to bang them out. So, they advance, so they are hitting on 4s right now, unfortunately. Not on the normal 3s, as a standard Space Marine what might expect. Ooh, almost got a 3 mixed in there. You don't want to have that happen. And then we're going to roll. We're wounding on 4s as well. You're going to Master Artisan reroll this. So we're going to get 3 of these. And on 6s, these Orcs will ignore these wounds. And there are none. That is 3 dead Orc boys from the other unit as well. Really thinning out these herds, massive herds of Orc boys. It is true they do move in herds. Now, the snipers, who can target character with their sniper rifles, are going to fire on that war boss on the war bike. Now, that might look like a missile launcher. It is just a sniper rifle. So let's see. That is going to be nothing. However, they are next to the Chapter Master, which means they reroll all misses. Now, that is going to be significantly better. That is everything's going to hit. Now, snipers cause mortal wounds on 6s in addition to anything else. So that is going to be 2 mortal wounds. They need 5s to wound because it's Strength 4 against Toughness 6. He's going to Master Artisan one of the dice, I believe. No? Maybe. Who knows? Okay, so then we get a say. We have a 4-up invuln on the Orc War Boss because we did use the big boss stratagem on him. And he's going to take 4 wounds from that because not making any of the saves and taking 2 additional mortal wounds. He's down to 3. That is devastating shooting right there. The Eliminator is going to try to get some revenge and shoot this War Boss right here. He could possibly kill him, dealing D3 damage with this sniper shot. Theoretically, it could happen. He hits. He does successfully hit with a 5, and he needs a 5 to wound, because Strength 5 against Toughness 6, and he is going to Master Artisan that 2 to get a 4. It does not happen. That War Boss is safe for now. Now the Dread is going to be shooting at the truck. Can he do it? Now, theoretically, he could kill this truck in one shot with a twin las cannon, dealing a maximum of 12 wounds. The truck only has an 11 wounds total. So, you know, it's possible. This is what dreams could be made out of. He only hits once, but he can Master Artisan that die to hit twice. That is the most times he could have hit with that weapon. Now, he's winning on 3s because Strength 8 against Toughness 6, so it is going to be pretty bad for that. So, yes, he does wound once at least. So there we go, we're going to roll the 6-up invuln save for the truck, and then we are going to roll the damage for the last cat. Does D6 damage, it's going to get a 4, that is above average of a 3.5. Now, with the truck's Ramshackle ability, he unsuccessfully turns that 4 damage into the 1. The truck has the ability of Ramshackle, where if you roll a 6, you get to roll a die after every time it gets dealt damage. That is more than 1. Actually, you can probably do it even if it is 1. If you roll a 6 on that die, it turns the damage into 1 damage instead. But it did not successfully do that, so it knocks it down to 7 wounds. Now, the Infiltrators, the big squad of 10 Infiltrators, is going to shoot at this mob of Orc boys. Now, 6s to hit with Infiltrator special guns do something special. Now, they are in range of the Chapter Master, so they are going to reroll all of these misses. The 6s get put aside because those automatically wound. Those automatically wound, so we will not have to do wound rolls for those 5 dice so far. And then we get another 3 more hits. Only 2 shots of the 20 shots have missed this herd of Ork boys. Now they're wounding them on 4s, not those 6. Those 6 already have wounded, though. Those 6s have already wounded. So these will be wounding on 4s against these Ork boys. Let's see if they can thin out these dirty boys. Significant. You get to reroll 1 of these because of Master Artisan. You reroll any 1s because of the Lieutenant that is nearby. So I think he just gets to reroll 2 dice. Oh, 3 dice, yeah. There's 1 dice mixed in there that has a different 1 face than all the others. It's going to actively try to confuse you. You're going to have to keep your eye out on that and try to be wary of it, because it will try its best to confuse you. So we'll see how many Ork boys can get plinked off here. And we get a solid 1-6 out of all these dice. 1 boy is saved out of this, killing a resulting 9 more Ork boys from that shot. And that is a significant amount of Ork boys. They're down to some numbers. Now I'm going to go move to the Space Marine charge phase. The Space Marines like charging, they're good at melee. However, there's no charges right now. Space Marine fight phase, nothing going to be fighting. And now we're going to go into the Space Marine morale phase, or the morale phase on the Space Marine turn, however you want to look at it. Now there is some significant morale to be had here, because this Ork unit could suffer penalties. This one cannot. However, the War Boss on Warbike is within 6 inches of that boy, so he will kill D3 of these Ork boys to make no more than that run away. So he manages to kill a solid 3 Ork boys. He doesn't want to get showed up. He hasn't killed anything this turn. He's hungry to kill something, so he kills those Ork boys right and proper, leaving that unit significantly diminished. However, Orks aren't one to have a diminished unit of Ork boys for that long, as you will be quick to see. Now we're going to be moving on to the Ork move, and at the end of the Ork move, the Green Tide stratagem is used on that very depleted Ork unit to reappear 6 inches above the board edge and 9 inches from an enemy unit, coming back at completely full strength as if nothing has happened. The Death Gawkers have came onto the board as well, off of the side edge, so they have to be within range. Nothing else has really moved. These Choppa Slugger boys have advanced. The War Boss has moved up, remaining within 6 inches of these boys, so they can still advance and charge in the same turn. It is looking quite nasty for these Space Marines. Ork Psychic Phase. Oh, it's going to be a wacky Psychic Phase, as in it's not going to happen. Now the Ork Shooting Phase. This is going to be quite devastating if last turn has anything to say about it. Now the Looters are going to shoot at the Infiltrators. What a choice. I would have thought they would have shot at the Dreadnought, but no, at the Infiltrators. Well, I want to thin out, because they know how much damage those Infiltrators can do. They took out a lot of Ork boys last turn with their concentrated fire. So this number of shots for the Ludas, that is going to be 2 shots per Luda model. So that is going to be 24 shots coming in at these boys, hitting on 5s. That is standard Ork ballistic skill. Now the 6s also explode. Death Skull reroll 1 of these dice for an extra not hit. And there we go. A couple of misses here, but significantly a good roll overall, I would say, when you expect 1/3 to hit. These are going to be the exploding 6s, which don't get you anything there. So now we're wounding on 3s because strength 7 against toughness 4, standard stuff right here. And we get a fair amount. We're going to Death Skull reroll 1 of these not good ones, and that's going to be the 1 dice that keeps trying to trick you. Here we go. That is going to be a -1 AP, 6 of them, against the Infiltrator's 3-up save, turning into a 4-up save, and that is going to be 3 failed saves. An Infiltrator has 2 wounds, and these guns do 2 damage, so that is going to be 3 dead Infiltrators right there. They do have a Helix additive, so they will have a chance of recovering a boy at the beginning of their turn, or at their turn, some point during their turn. We'll see how that plays out. But yes, 3 Infiltrators dead after that round of Luda shots. The War Boss is going to shoot Infiltrators as a prank. See if he can't shoot his load. We're going to be hitting on 5s today, because he just moved normally. Yeah, we get 2 hits and 2 exploding 6s. We aren't going to use the Death Skull reroll on these, because we want to use it on the Daka gun, which is better. This is the custom shooter that he has in his hands. This is going to be no wounds. That's going to be 1 wound. There we go. And a 3-up save for them. He is fine. Alright, now we're going to get the Daka gun, which is strength 5 and no AP. So this is sure to be better. And we're going to get no hits, and we're going to get no hits. There. Fantastic work. Fantastic shooting, Ork War Boss. Great. Now the Ork boys are going to be shooting the Infiltrators right here. So not all of them are in range of the Infiltrators. They're actively not shooting the Scouts, so they have a charge target. Some of the shots might stray into the Reavers, I think, but no, I think they're just going to shoot at the Infiltrators for now. Let's have a look. So these are as many boys that can shoot at the Infiltrators. Each one has an Assault 2 gun, so this is going to be several shots. And re-rolling that one, and it's going to be a 5, which is good. Yeah. I think that's all fine and dandy. Not the worst, not the worst. There's definitely some accuracy being shown by these orc boys. They're actually looking at the enemy while firing the gun, which is more than you can say for the normal bout of orc shooting. There's going to be a couple of exploding sixes here, about 6 of them. By about, I mean exactly. We're going to get 3 more shots. It's 50-50, you know. That's about how it should work, right? No. So here we go. We're going to try to wound them. They're wounding on 4s. I quickly go get that dice that fell down in there. Quite fast on my hands right there. We're going to get some wounds right here. Wounding on 4s is a significantly good wound. This one's actually supposed to be 50-50, but it was more than that. Now they're going to have a 3-up save against this with no AP, so it shouldn't be too devastating, theoretically. Ooh, and that's not that good of a save roll for them. That is going to be 2 whole dead infiltrators. Each one deals 1 damage. They have 2 wounds a pop, so that is just going to be 2 dead boys right there. That infiltrator squad is getting whittled away slowly. We are pointing, it's showing how many are left. Now, both of these Defcopters are going to be shooting at the scout unit with these sniper rifles. They are scared of that scout unit after plinking off 4 wounds off of the war boss. That is just not something we'd like. So these Defcopters are armed with twin big shooters, and they are going to twin big shoot at these boys. So that is going to be a significant amount of hits. And an exploding 6 right there, because the other one was a death skull reroll, was the other roll. Now this is strength 5, so it's wounding on 3s, and we're going to death skull reroll that 2, and that's going to be all of them. Now the scouts have a 4-up armor save. You can see how it plays out. That is going to be 3 dead scouts right there. And now we're going to shoot the second Defcopter, just to get it out of the way, see if we can't polish off that unit. And that is going to be 2 hits immediately, and then a death skull reroll, and then an exploding 6 as well, which gets 3 total hits. We're going to roll to see if we can't wound them on 3s and get another one right here. There we go. And then we got 4-up saves to make. And they make all of them. So nothing from the second Defcopter. So far, 3 scouts have died from that sniper unit. And they are going to be taken away. It is quite oppressive currently. Now the shock attack gun is going to fire at the last remaining eliminator with 1 wound left. See if he can't take him out. Based on everything that's seen, I think the shock attack gun will most likely kill this eliminator. Now we're going to roll. We're going to get a strength of 4 for the shock attack gun. We're going to get a shots of 6 for the shock attack gun. Alright, and we're going to roll. And that is going to be some hits, some exploding 6s. It's going to be 2 hits. We're wounding on 4s right now because strength 4 against toughness 4. And a death skull reroll that. We're going to get 2 wounds. At minus 5 AP, that eliminator has been taken out, unfortunately. It is not looking good. Now the orc charge phase. There are several things that are going to be charged right now. So here we go. The orc boys are going to charge the reavers and the librarian that are both right around here. So let's see if they can make it. They need basically nothing. They are quite close to both of those units. And with a 3, they actually would make it, but he wants more. And getting a 10 with the Here We Go reroll, the natural orc ability that all good orcs have. And by good orcs, I mean all orcs. They have stringed themselves across to be in control of all points that they possibly can and have engaged with the Reaver squad and the Librarian man. The knob there with his kill saw facing off with the Librarian. Now this is the Overwatch for the Reavers and the Librarian. The Reavers first, it's going to score 1 hit. We're going to Master Artist in one of these dice, I'm pretty sure. And that exactly is what happens, but no extra hit there. And that is going to get Master Artisan to cause a wound, and that does cause a wound. And we're going to see if an orc dies from that. It does. An orc does die from Overwatch. There. And now the War Boss is going to charge those Reavers. He does have Dakilla Claw, which is a big old relic. And that is going to be placed right there. With an 8-inch charge, he can absolutely do that thing. With his 3 wounds remaining, he's just going to saddle on up right out next to those good boys. Now, these orc boys are going to charge these scout boys. Now, they need a 9-inch charge because they got placed there through Green Tide, so they're exactly just over 9 inches away. With a 7, that's not going to be enough, but with Here We Go, you can reroll 1 or both of the dice, and getting exactly a 9, you hate to see it, for these space. You really feel for these Space Marines right now. But these Ork boys do make it. These scouts are going to quickly overwatch the boys. That is going to be the pistol, who is overcharging right now. He missed, so he's going to use Master Artisan for some reason. Getting a 1, killing the sergeant immediately. It's horrifying. Why was that decision made? Never before in the history of Dota has that been seen. We're going to get no shots from the bolt rifles to see if the heavy bolt gun can do any better. And we're going to get a shot off with the heavy bolt gun. That's good. On a 3 to wound a boy. It does. We get a 6-up save for these Ork boys, which they do not make. It does kill an Ork boy, which is fine and also dandy. But yeah, you hate to see it. You hate to see losing the same amount of guys on your side as the other side when you're the one overwatching. These Ork boys have made it into combat. That knob with a kill shot does not look very pleased that he has to go get a replacement for that one boy in his unit. Now we're getting into the Ork fight phase. First thing to fight is going to be the War Boss. He's going to pinch these Reavers. Now he is hitting on 2s. He also has an attack squid. He has 5 attacks because of the War Boss stratagem, the bigger boss. And he gets 3 1s. So distraught from this, forgetting he's a Death Skull and trying to reroll one of those. He does manage to wound 2. They get 6-up saves at -3, so we're going to just see if they make their 6-up saves. They do not. So that is going to be 2 dead Reavers right there. Now, the attack swig is going to fight. Roll. Miss with 1. Now remembering that he's a Death Skull and using the reroll on the attack squig, which still doesn't hit. Fantastic. Now, it also doesn't wound, the one that did hit from the attack squig. So the attack squig is probably taking a nap. You can see it there on the Orks, on the War Boss's gun, but we do manage to kill 2 Reavers. The War Boss does manage to pinch him off right there. So 2 Reavers do get pinched away. It is not looking good for those Reavy boys. What will occur now? Yeah, significantly underperforming the War Boss right there. In my professional opinion, in commentating this, the Reavers spend 2 command points to interrupt to fight before these Ork boy horde can attack him. Now this is going to be the captain into the Ork boys. He is Might of Heroes, and he's going to Master Artisan that, and he hits with everything. Now, he is going to get... He has so many bonuses to attack from being a Space Marine, a Reaver, having a Combat Knife, and having a Wizard Power cast on him. He is Strength 5 as well currently because of the Wizard Power, and all of these are wounds to these Ork boys, and we're going to see how many are slain. With a 6-up invuln, only 1. He's going to kill 5 Ork boys, just the Sergeant from that Reaver squad. And now the other remaining boys that are still alive that aren't the Sergeant are going to try their hand at killing these Ork boys. Hitting on 3s today for them, and that is not going to be the best of rolls. However, they're wounding on 4s because they are only Strength 4. Unfortunately, that's going to be only 1. That's quite sad, and this Ork boy does not make it. So that is going to be a total of 6 young Ork boys being taken out of action by these Reavers before the Ork boys get a chance to give them a gold bonk. These Reavers really giving it their all. Now, the Ork boys are going to fight the Reaver and the Librarian. These attacks are going to be split. There is going to be 8 boys into the Reaver, 6 into the Librarian, and the Knob into the Librarian. So, Ork boys going into the Reavers. These are going to be 8 boys, so there's going to be 24 attacks because there's less than 20 in the unit currently because of the thinned out herd. And we're going to remove... They're hitting on 3s because they are good at melee, and that's going to be that one dice that tries to trick you. It always gets removed last. They're Strength 4, so they're wounding on 4s because they're Toughness 4. And we're going to see what happens here. That is going to be a couple of 1s. That is actually significantly better than 50-50, I would say. Get that 3 out of there, I do believe. Is he going to get that 3 out of there? He did not get that 3 out of there. Oh my god, what cheating bastard. And we are going to get some failed saves right here. Maybe the die was flipped. I wasn't paying that much attention. And here we go. That is going to be 1 off clearing the unit. So that Reaver Sergeant is going to be left on 1 wound. And he's going to survive this fight phase. Incredible. Left on 1 wound. That Reaver Sergeant, the absolute hero of the Imperium. He refuses to die to this Xeno scum. Now, this is going to be the Knob going into the Librarian with 3 attacks from his kill saw, hitting on 4s because it's unwieldy. We get 1 hit. Strength 10, so it's going to be winning on 2s. Yes, and the Librarian apparently does not have an invuln. I thought he did. So that's just going to deal 2 damage to the Librarian's 4 wounds. And this is going to be the 6 Ork boys with 18 attacks because of their choppas going into the Librarian. hitting on 3s, as always. And they are going to try to hit him now. Oh, try to wound him now. Wounding on 4s, who's strength 4 and toughness 4. So there's going to be a couple misses. That is way better than 50-50. What is this guy rolling on? Crack? So now we're going to get this Librarian's 3-up armor save, which is exactly enough to kill him, with exactly 4 wounds, taking 2 from the knob and taking 2 from the boys. That is going to be exactly lethal for the Librarian. No more Psychic Phase for these Space Marine boys. Librarian gets removed. If he was a Primaris, he would have still been alive, so there you go. I'm sure they're not replacing all of the tacticals with Primaris, you know? And now the Orc boys will consolidate, consolidating right into the Dreadnought to prevent it to shoot its las cannon next turn, really protecting that truck. Now these Orc boys are going to fight these Scouts. Ooh, this could be probably really bad. The Knob is going to fight first. He gets an extra attack because there's more than 20 in the unit. And we are going to Death Skull reroll that too. It looks like that's a cocked dice, we've decided, so we're just going to reroll that. It's a 1, it's a miss, that's fine. So there's going to be 2s to wound, and that's going to be 3. Minus 4 AP, there's only 3 of them left. They got a 4-up armor save, 2 damage each. That's just going to be the unit of Scouts right there. They're all dead. They don't get any saves against minus 4 AP, it's too much. Now, the Scouts that got consolidated in by these Orc boys are going to attack the boys. This is the Sergeant, who does have a Lightning Claw tucked away in his pants. He just has a single Lightning Claw. It essentially does nothing against these Orc boys with the 6-up armor and 6-up invuln. The only thing in the Lightning Claw, one Lightning Claw gives you a bonus of is giving you minus 1 AP. He does manage to kill a single boy, however, which is quite good. And now the normal Scout with nothing misses. However, he is Master Artisan because the other guy didn't miss, and he does hit! Wounding on a 4. He does, and does the Boy Scout thing do? And the boys have armor, so they get armored up. And managing to kill a single Orc boy with the Scout. Now the Dread is attacking the boys. This should be more devastating. Dread has 4 attacks, he would have more, but they didn't get charged this turn. They just got consolidated into. And the Dread hits with almost everything. With the Master Artisan, he hits with everything. That's the good one. Wounding on 2s with a whopping strength of probably 12. We're going to Master Artisan that, and wounds with everything. Minus 3 AP, it doesn't matter for Death Skulls. They got a 6-up invuln all the time. However, it didn't matter this day. That 6-up didn't do nothing. Kills another 4 boys. That's 4 boys, 5 more boys killed from Scouts and Dreadnought. Quite filthy happenings happening here. Many Orc boys getting removed right there. That's the 5 boys getting taken out of action. Ooh, that's bad. That's some boys. So Orc morale, which will be happening right now. So the Orc morale for here, they are within 6 inches of the War Boss, clearly, as you can see right there. The War Boss is going to give them a bonk so they don't run away, because significant amounts of them have ran away. So another 3 get killed by the boss to maintain not running away. As you can see, they are no longer in melee with the Reaver right there. Now, this after the Space Marine movement, basically the Captain and Lieutenant have moved up, and the Infiltrators have moved back a bit. Captain's gonna move up, try to kill that War Boss theoretically, and the Lieutenant's gonna move over here to kill these Orc boys theoretically. The Lieutenant has a plethora of attacks, and the Captain has a girth of attacks. So they are choosing their targets wisely, I think, here. We're gonna move into the Space Marine shooting. The Infiltrators are gonna shoot at Orc boys. They are significantly less, so they're gonna have less shots. They are within range of the Chapter Master, so I do believe they get to reroll all the misses, both of them. So here they are, and that's two also misses. So that 2 was a good one. That did just get rolled over just then. So 2 6s for the auto wounds because they have their fancy guns. The one of these is going to get Master Artisan. Wounding on 4s. Yeah. The Lieutenant is within range theoretically, and we're going to get some Orc boy saves right here. Oh, that's going to be 1 Orc boy save, so only 2 die from a volley of Infiltrator fire. Now the Space Marines charge phase. The Lieutenant is going to charge Orc boys. He needs a 1.1 on 2 dice. I think he can do it. He gets an 8. That's enough. He's done it. And now the Captain charges the War Boss. Can he make it? He needs about a 2. He's done it, folks. What a hero. I see children in the stands crying tears of joy that the Captain has made it into melee. Now, he is the Imperium Sword. He gets big bonuses when he's in melee. We're going to go into the Space Marines fight phase. The Orcs are out of CP at this point, so they do not have any tricks. They cannot interrupt or anything right now. So the Lieutenant is going to fight the Orc boys. He is hitting on 2s, and he is re-rolling one of those. He is not in range of the captain to re-roll both. He hits with everything. He is wounding on 4s. And you hate to see it. You detest to see it. It is something... The children are crying now for a different reason. He gets 1 wound off. Can it do anything? And it does. It kills a single orc boy. Oh, you really expected it to do more than that. The captain is going to fight the war boss now. Let's see if he can't save that Reaver. Now the captain gets a significant amount of attacks for being the Imperium Sword. He gets to reroll all of these because he is himself the chapter master. He gets all the hits. He is hitting at strength 7 currently with all of the buffs he is getting from several different reasons. So that means he's winning on 3s against the Orc Warboss's toughness of 6. And that is going to wound everything. It is minus 5 AP with that relic weapon. However, it does not matter for the Warboss who has an invuln of 4. Can he make it? And he makes everything but 2. However, he got shot up by snipers earlier, and each of these do 2 damage. So this will kill the Warboss on 3 remaining wounds, ending that man's life instantly. This Space Marine Warlord has done quite good work saving that Reaver. The Dread, this is the first non-charge pick, is going to fight the Orc Boys. And let's see what he can't do. And he's going to hit with most, and it's all. Apparently they have some kind of dog, for hair keeps appearing on the table and has to be wiped off. Everything wounds. He needed to wound on 2s. He went above and beyond the call of duty to duty all over those Orc Boys. Now the Orc Boys managed to get 2 saves. Really fending off, getting really lucky there, but that's their shtick. Now the Orc Boys are going to throw all the attacks they can at this Lieutenant. Now this is the Knobs attacks. He hits once so far with a Death Skull reroll. He's going to hit twice. Wounding on 2s for strength 10, and that's going to be both of them. This Lieutenant apparently also does not have an invuln. Not as many Space Marine characters I thought had invuln, so that's already 4 damage. He does have 5 wounds, being a Primaris boy, so he's still alive. So these are the boys piling into him with choppas, leading 4s to wound. So 2 of them get through. He has 3 up saves. He needs to make both of these or else he dies. Can he do it? Ooh. And he is going to command point reroll this, I believe. And he does. And he makes it. That is going to be a living lieutenant right there, on 1 wound remaining. Now these scouts are going to fight these, beat off these boys. This is going to be the sergeant with his hidden lightning claw, hitting both times. Wounding 1 time, both times with the Master Artisan reroll. And we're going to get the 2 6-up saves? No 6-up saves. That's going to kill 2 boys right there, leaving 3 boys in that unit remaining. Can the remaining scout kill another boy? Hitting on a 3. We're going to call that a cocked dice and reroll it. It works. It hits. Wounding on a 4. It does have a 6-up armor or an invuln save, which does not make it, leaving 2 terrified Orc boys, outnumbered and outgunned there. They are probably going to suffer morale and flee the field. Space Marines morale phase. In the morale phase, these Orc boys are fine. However, those Orc boys will be running away. It is impossible for them to succeed. There are no tricks that can be done to keep them in the fight. No CP to be had, and no rollings of 1s to be heard of. Yeah, it is looking a little more even now. The Orc boys have been cleared out. The Warboss is dead. However, there is a full unit of Ludas and a shock attack gun to deal with here. Moving on to the Orc movement phase. The Deathcopters have moved up. The Orc boys with Shootas have moved in, so they can probably shoot at the captain, I imagine. That Deathcopter looks quite unstable. And it was! It has fallen over, folks! That might count as a casualty. We're choosing to not count it as a casualty. There's some wobbly model syndrome going down right there. So that is what the board looks like here at the end of the Orc movement phase. Now moving on to the Orc psychic phase, which is non-existent. Why does this screen keep coming up? Orc shooting phase. This is the one that could be devastating. This Deathcopter is going to shoot at this Reaver, hopefully plinking off 1 wound, allowing, and if it does, then it's going to spell trouble for the captain, because that Reaver is the only thing giving that captain character protection from the vast majority of the Orc shooting. That is going to be 2 wounds. Can this Reaver make 2 3-up saves right now? And he makes 1 3-up save right now. With no more command points, he cannot reroll that, so that is going to be a dead Reaver boy. You hate to see it. You hate to see the Imperium's finest go down to helicopter fire. The other helicopter is going to shoot at these scouts right here, see if they can't kill some more brave boys in a disrespectful act of long-range weaponry. We're going to score 1 hit there with that Deathcopter. Going to get a Death Skull reroll and an exploding 6 for no more help there. On a 3 it wounds, and a Death Skull reroll for that does not wound. That Deathcopter does not kill any good scout boys. The Ludas here, now freed up from the restrictions of character protection by killing that Reaver from the Deathcopter, will unload into the Captain, seeing if they cannot kill the Warlord. This would prove devastating if it connects badly. That's going to be 2 shots for each, so that is going to be a total of 24 shots for that unit of 12 Ludas in the truck. That is a Death Skull reroll to 5, proving another hit there. And that is going to be a lot of hits, actually. It might be statistical, it might not be. I'm no math magician. That is going to be 2 exploding 6s, however, with another hit there. That's probably not statistical, right? Who knows? Probably someone who's better at math. Wounding on 3s because strength 7. Let's go reroll another one to get another wound in there. The Captain has a 4-up invuln, which is being used right now. He has a 3-up armor, but minus 1 AP from these Ludiguns, so it is forcing him to use his invuln, or his armor, actually, either way. He fails 4 of these dice rolls, and with 5 wounds, that is going to be enough. Even with a command point, that is going to be the Captain slain. And with that, seeing the death of the Captain, the Space Marines will do a tactical withdrawal, and we will call it the end of the game. That is going to be an Ork victory. Thank you all for joining me this nice time. It was a fun little game, kind of one-sided. Who knows? It was back and forth sometimes. The Scouts did great. I think they were the MVP. The Lightning Cloud really pulled it out of nowhere. I think it played a crucial role in the plays and killing of Orks. Yeah. Well, if you liked it, cool. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everyone.